Good. Well, welcome to Jade Mountain, and welcome to the Mad Mango Festival, as we call it. And you just drove up today, so you probably saw a lot of mangoes on the way up. You may not have recognized them or noticed them, but the place is dripping with mangoes. St Lucia, there's about 40 different varieties of mangoes, and on the road up from the airport, there are so many different varieties of mangoes, different colors, different shapes. I've got a couple here that I can share with you, a few of the different ones, and exactly why different varieties and why do we get excited about different, because each one tastes differently. Each one has a different color, a texture, a flavor, and one of the things that happens with mangoes, people have, each neighborhood has a fascination with their own mangoes, specifically a mango in their own backyard. Very passionate about their own backyard mangoes. And here, as in elsewhere around the world, people wait for the mangoes for like that first mango to get ripened. That first mango is always the most exciting, the most flavorful. It's just like the first of the season of anything. And no different here. Lots of different types of mangoes. And they come from all over the world, from throughout the years, actually from the years of the discoverers, depending on, here we have the French and the British influence. So that means when we were colonized here in St Lucia, we have French mangoes and British mangoes that were brought over from their colonies in Southeast Asia, in India. So you're talking about the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s. That's when most of the mangoes were going back and forth with the explorers, the age of the explorers. That sort of modern day communication and transportation changes everything, just as it does today. Transportation and communication. Right now we no longer just take a train, or a steamship, we travel by internet, we travel by jet. And so that it's such a smaller world, but meanwhile the foodstuffs make a big difference for us. So that's kind of where it happens. We just got, so here with this cooking class, I'm going to share some different recipes, and we'll get started in just a moment. So with the different types of mangoes, and today we actually took a tour. We have an organic farm, and on our farm we have a lot of different types of mangoes, as well as our produce and herbs and spices. You guys were there today, wasn't magnificent, huh? Just, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's just on the other side of town, Sufres, the little town here, just on the back side. It's actually on a little plateau above, a little mountain above the town. So for Jade Mountain, we use all of that produce that we grow there. The herbs and spices, but also the vegetables and the greens, the microgreens, the citruses, the limes, the mints, all of that goes into the different things, as well as the mangoes. So we've got a lot of different mango trees there as well. This type of mango is called Graham. Okay, it's one of the most popular here. I'm gonna give this one a cut so you can just get a sense of it. And actually, let me just not assume that you know how to cut a mango. Okay, because some people do but don't. Mangoes generally come to rest with gravity, so that if you had a mango, the way it would just sit there like that, that's kind of like the top and the bottom cheeks of the mangoes. So what happens is when it comes to rest, what I do is turn it about 45 degrees, and then on just the right hand side of center, kind of take it and slice through. Okay? Turn it around again, just to the side of center, because there is a large seed, and cut through again. So that's the center Graham mango. And for this, I'm just going to give you guys a little taste of it, since you've been patient. But what I like to do is kind of cut that like that, and then just pop that up, just like that. So that's your welcome flavors to Jade Mountain. Very perfumey, kind of citrusy, a little bit of pineapple-y and peach sort of flavors to it. Just wonderful and delicious. And also almost no fiber. Okay, so that's really a nice thing. Another way of cutting the mango, because always, you know, you see these mangoes, well, how do I get to it? Okay, another way of cutting the mango is if we just take it and slice it through as I had done before, kind of just cutting it through. Then take a spoon, a regular kitchen spoon like that, and then kind of like dig in underneath it. Okay, mango comes out, beautiful mango slices, and you can put it into a salad or into something that we're cooking. So real easy like that. And again, juicy as anything. A little bit of citrusy and pineapple-y, which actually makes it very pleasant. Not overly sweet, but very pleasantly sweet for enjoying in the afternoon. Or actually into a cocktail or something like that. A mangotini, a little bit or maybe a lot of vodka. A couple slices of that. One of the things I love to do, actually get a big bowl or a apothecary sort of jar, put about 30 pounds of mango into it, good bottle of vodka, maybe a second bottle of vodka, and let that set for about 2 days. Then all that fruit juices and the aromatics and the flavors sort of seep into it, and then what we do is drain it out and just make martinis from that mango vodka. Beautiful. Then we take all that pulp and make ice creams out of it. Or smoothies. Smoothies are wonderful. With a nice vanilla ice cream with a little bit of a drunk mango. Yeah, that's delicious. So a couple other types. This shape compared to this, okay? Different shape. This is a calabash. Calabash is another very nice local mango. And on this, you can see the different shape completely with that. Again, some nice different flavors going on. And okay, this one also really a lot less flesh to it. This is actually a little bit more fibrous, but very pleasant, really good eating. The locals love the calabash. Just to share a couple other types. This is called a mango rose. Kind of small and dainty. It does have that little coloration, like a little bit of a rose. A mangotine. Again, just a kind of nice, plush, sweet mango. And then one of our favorites, which is a Julie mango. This Julie mango, if you again sort of take a look at the different shapes to that, so you see each one has a different shape. This Julie mango has a sort of square bottom and top, shoulders. It's a funnier kind of shape like that, which is interesting. But with this is a very firm Julie mango. And so with this one, as a green mango, here I'm actually going to come around so I can show you this differential of when I say green. If you give this a squeeze, this is a green one, okay, right, but not succulent and sweet. Okay, so here, give the two a squeeze. Okay, and also for you guys. Okay, ripe and sweet, ripe and mature. Okay, so that's what I call a green mango. This green mango like this is wonderful because what I'm going to do with that, and a lot of people like to do this type of thing, is use it for its almost like green apple sort of flavor. Okay, so kind of taking that again, it's a little harder shape to it. I hit the seed, that's why, so. Okay, and then cutting it open when it's ripened, so you can see the difference. Okay, ripened and green, that's why we call it green. So green is sort of a green apple-y sort of flavor to it, and with this green mango, really it presents well. Flip that over. Actually, when it cuts, you can almost hear it crispy and almost like a green apple. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this green apple sort of flavor is going to take that and make a little bit of a pickle for it. And just take the skin off. Okay. This pickle, actually lots of different types of pickles. This one is called Tsukai. The Tsukai is a tradition, it's a French tradition. Tsukai, anyone speak French? Tsukai means under the house, and kind of the example and the reason why under the house is kind of like drunken and sort of fallen under the house to rest for the afternoon. So that's kind of the thing with this. So gonna get so I'm gonna put a couple of slices in there. I also have a couple that are diced, so you can taste them both with that. I've got a couple diced, so you can see that. Into this, I've got a little bit of lime juice and some cold water, some hot peppers, okay? Some chili peppers. You know about chili peppers, the Scoville units? You ever hear the name Scoville units? Scovilles? The Scovilles, this guy, Dr. Scoville, lived in New Mexico. And he and about 10 friends used to sit around a table in the morning, like this, and taste chilies. And they determined how hot the chili was. And this is how they developed the Scoville units. It's still used today, although scientifically he was really close and sort of set the standard. So kind of like a jalapeno chili. A jalapeno chili probably has Scoville units of about 5,000. Okay? Something like a Tabasco chili has Scoville units of about 50,000. A Serrano chili or bird chili, the kind that you use in Thai cooking or something like that, about 75 to 85,000 Scoville units. The habanero, almost 125,000 plus. And then the Scotch bonnet, which is the wild one from here in the Caribbean, anywhere from 100 to 250,000 Scoville units. And that's hot. So, really hot. What we have here are these seasoning peppers. Seasoning peppers are kind of sweet and citrusy. So that's kind of what I'm going to use in this for this one. And this one is kind of sweet, so I actually can use the seeds in it. So I'm going to put that. I also have a couple diced here. So this will give this recipe a little bit of heat. Also, just traditionally in pickling, a little bit of garlic, a little black pepper, and some salt. Always got to pickle with salt. Okay, and with that, just going to mix that together. Okay, I'm going to come around just so you can sort of get a vision of what this is looking like. Okay, so it's a little marinade, or brine you'd probably call that. Okay, and that's kind of a little brine that we've got there. Alrighty. So that's our brine. Pickles usually take quite a while. We're going to give it towards the end of the class a little bit. So we're just going to put that aside for a few minutes. I'm going to put a little bit more lime into it. There we go. The next dish that I want to set up, and we'll come back to that, is a shrimp and mango curry. Okay, I love how mangoes and spice come together. Really easy, very flavorful. It picks up the essences of it. It works really well. So we're going to warm this up a little bit to make our curry sauce to begin with. I'm going to start this off with a little bit of butter. Kind of what I start off when you're cooking and you're sort of making something that's going to be a little bit spicy, but still you want a lot of aromatics. Okay, aromatics means it should smell good, it should taste good. So that with these aromatics, what I'm looking at is ginger, garlic, and shallots. Okay, so those are really nice, sweet aromatics. So I've got a little bit of dice, adding the ginger and the garlic. And also now the shallots, all nicely finely diced. Okay, so we're going to start to let that, not brown, but just softly cook. Got some madras curry. Madras curry is a yellow curry. Generally when you talk about curries and the colors, you're talking about colors of chili. A green curry is a green chili. Red curry is red chilies. And then yellow is a very mild, but also has some yellow chilies in it. But this is a yellow, kind of mild. So what I'm going to do with curry is releasing the flavors into the curry right here with the aromatics. I'm going to take it off and let that mix. Some people hate to do curry. Well, what's curry? How do you make that? It's so hard to make. Okay, but just by mixing in the curry into it. Okay, so it releases that flavor. So we start off with that sweet base of vegetable aromatics, adding in the curry. So that's not hot, so I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne. Okay, so we can make it hot as we like or not. So I'm going to add a little cayenne into that. And then also now a little bit of coconut milk. And let that simmer for a little bit. We've got some shrimp for this.
Are the shrimp local?
These shrimp are not, we're not in season for the shrimp here, but when we do, they're beautiful with that. So I'm going to season it. Almost all of the other fish we use throughout the Jade is local fish. So absolutely, we have the fishing villages here that give us just wonderful fish. So I'm going to actually take some nice ripe mango into the sauce here. Cut that. So that's going to kind of melt into the sauce to give us that nice mango-y flavor.
Will that sort of dissolve, or will they?
Yeah, that's why as you take, this is the one from the Graham that we started off with. So that one's going to dissolve, but I also have some green mango, which you're going to see will not dissolve, and we kind of want to have both textures. One of the things I like to do is kind of do multi-textures so that you get both the sweet and the sour, the kind of soft melting at the same time as not. So you've got that going on. Into this pan here, a little bit of olive oil. For us there, and I'm going to lay the shrimp into it. And that goes back on the pan. As I said, you can make a curry as hot or as not as you like. I like to have some nice flavors to it, so we're not that wimpy about it, but it will have some nice flavor as an overall. Turn that down. So into this curry also, I've got some sweet potatoes. Kind of funny sweet potatoes. These are purple potatoes, okay, but they are sweet. And so we're going to put those purple potatoes into this. You'll see my madness in a little bit. Okay, and shrimp, when you're cooking shrimp, what you want to do is let them cook on the first side. As the edges start to turn kind of pink, they start to get done, you're going to take them and turn them over. Okay, so get those turned over nicely. Now, as I suggested, I'm going to add in some green mango into this. Okay, this is nice hard green mango. And I think also the Julie mango. But here I'm going to put it into the shrimp. So adding a little bit of tartness into the shrimp. Gonna let that cook a little bit. So I just want to give you a little heads up on that so you can see a little closer. Okay, so that's the shrimp with the green mango in it. And now we're going to put the two of them together. Into the pan. And let that just kind of simmer a little bit. Beautiful. To finish that up, what I'd like to do is add just a little bit of fresh mint to it. Okay, mint, kind of unusual. I think one of the underutilized cooking herbs. You can put cilantro, you can use basil, Thai basil, all work. But I think you'll find a pleasant surprise here with this. Okay, and we'll get to taste this. So this actually, you can see it really cooks fairly quickly. Lots of big flavors going on. And you also see that the sweet mango kind of disappeared into the dish, and you'll taste the little bit of tart mango along with it. Nice aromatics, right? A little bit of heat, a little bit of kick in it, as I forewarned. But then you have the sweetness come through, which is really nice.
Did you parboil that sweet potato?
Yes, yes. If you wanted to, if you weren't going to parboil it, what I would do in this recipe was to add some water to the curry as we're making it. So yeah, so what I would do is probably put half coconut milk and half water, a little bit more volume, and put the raw potato in. Then that would cook and reduce down, and we leave it in there so that you give it some, otherwise it will be just too thick. So you want to do that and let the potato cook right in there. But again, just for time, we want to kind of make it a little bit more simple for you like that. So now for the mango Tsukai. So for the mango Tsukai, we've got we're going to make this kind of like a little appetizer or hors d'oeuvre, and going to take a little bit of prosciutto and cut the prosciutto just in a little bit of a band. The pickle could be served on its own, but I think sometimes doing this makes it interesting. So what I do is cut a couple of these little small bands of prosciutto. And then what I'm going to do is take these nice pieces of pickled mango. And what I do is kind of roll it up like a little belt on it. And here's the little pickle we call a Tsukai. The kind of green apple that the mango is. It's a Julie mango, very low fiber, but it has that nice little crunch to it. And then this has a very light pickle because we did it really quick. But if we let it overnight, about 24 hours, it'd have a little bit more of the garlicky sharpness to it like you'd have in a pickle. And then again, having just the little bit of prosciutto. Again, not a lot. You see, again, proportionately, you have to be careful, you know, with that, so that it doesn't overpower it, and it becomes just that nice salty condiment to the pickle with that. And actually, very traditionally, the reason I came up with this idea for the recipe is because a lot of cultures love to pick a mango right out of the tree, put some salt on it, and eat it just like that. So yeah, well, skin on or even taking it off. But they love that green mango with a little salt, and a green mango, a little salt, and also sometimes a little bit of chili powder. So real traditional, like in Mexico, all the time. You'll see that with mangoes. It makes them refreshing. It adds another dimension right away to it, and it becomes very flavorful. People do eat skin on, but not a whole lot. Mostly. Some people are sensitive to mango skins.
Oh, but I mean as far as it's,
Digestive?
otherwise edible.
No. We also do another type of mango pickle that you do actually with the skin on. You do the whole mango green like that with the skin on, and it's wonderful. But with that mango pickle, we do mustard seed and salt, as well as garlic and mustard oil, and let it sit out. This one takes about 3-4 days to just ferment. Actually, it ferments that, and so that with that fermentation, the skin is still there and it's very edible, and it becomes a very sharp and spicy mango pickle, but a very different look to it. So we've got one more recipe, and this is a mango bread. Okay, mango breads, really good, just as in banana breads, just as in zucchini breads, really well done. Good way to use mangoes, utilize either overripe mangoes or wonderfully ripe mangoes as well. Not a problem for either. And it's not hard to do. It's a little harder without a mixer, I will tell you that. Usually demands a little bit of a mixer, but I'm going to give it a shot here with a little bit of butter and sugar for us here, and gonna just kind of mix the two together. Normally you do this in a mixer, probably on a low. Sugar and butter, so that we kind of mix together. Just so you can kind of see that. Okay, to that, this should be mixed until it kind of dissolves and becomes creamy. To that mixture, I'm going to add a little bit of mango puree, which we took fresh mango and pureed. Delicious, delicious stuff. And you can kind of see the coloration of it. Got to pick up some nice mango colors. Now on the side separately, what I'm going to do is combine some of the dry ingredients. Okay, so there we're going to combine the flour along with a little bit of baking soda and baking powder. Touch of cinnamon. And a pinch of salt. Always likes a little salt when you're baking. And that I'm going to mix in over here. So once those are ready, I'm going to just set that aside for a moment. Go back to our butter mixture, and got to put a couple of nice pieces of mango in this.
So you're cutting that differently than the others.
Yeah, well, this one I want to take the just to dice it differently. There's lots of different ways to cutting. Okay, definitely so. A little bit more yellowy flesh, as you can see, compared to the orange flesh of the gray ham. Okay, and here, just going to take that, dice that up, so we have some nice pieces that go in there. Gonna add an egg. Along with the egg, a little bit of vanilla. Okay, get some nice flavors going on. And just to bring up some of the acidity, some flavor, just a little bit of fresh lime juice into that. Okay, and so now this mixture, I'm going to mix in to the dry ingredient. And just kind of cutting it in like that. Okay, and then also going to add in, this is a nice dough that we make. Toasted nuts, pecans or walnuts, either way. Nutty, cinnamony, mango-y. So this is kind of what we've got going on in here. So this batter, put into a loaf pan. Into the loaf pan, what we do is bake it off. As you can see, nice batter. Put it into the loaf pan and bake it off. And what we get is some beautiful mango bread, which I've got right here. So the transition, and we'll taste that. So that's our mango bread that this bakes off probably at a 350 oven, probably for about 35 to 40 minutes, depending on all that. And so we'll taste this. I've got a little fruit skewer. So I can give you a skewer with that. And a little mango dessert, a little mango bread for you. So again, real easy. You know, I think mangoes are easy to incorporate into wonderful foods. Here at Jade, it's just a lot of fun because we have so many varieties. Using them green, using them for their fiber, using them for the kind of way that they melt into it. Using it here in the cake where it's sort of melted in, and we actually did melt it in into the cake component, but then also dice some so that when you bite into it, you have the mango in the cake and you also have the fruitiness of it that you come across, and you have that kind of nice sweetness to it. The same thing we did in the mango curry, where we had it melt into the sauce, but also at the same time kept a little bit of chunks so that it made it interesting with that. Sauteed like that in the olive oil with the shrimp. So lots of fun. We've got a big mango dinner tonight, okay? Crazy about mangoes. 1,001 things to do with mangoes before you die. So been working all day on this menu. We've also got wine pairings to go with it, which is also really interesting. Matching food and wine like that. And so that I think you'll have a great time with it. We've got a whole weekend of things to explore and enjoy. So welcome to Jade.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay.